to in regards to loyalty and love. When is the right time for you guys talking to the women to cut someone off, whether it's friendship, whether it's relationship? Because I know we all previously might have discussed this about cutting people off, and it's January, it's New Year.
Mm.
Like when do you guys consider the right time to maybe cut someone off?
So we've talked about this on the podcast before, not this specific subject, but um, okay. So when it comes to like dating, I'm quick to cut people off. Here's the thing: I feel like um, at my age, I don't really want to continually have the same conversations over and over. Like if I recognize that this is not going to work, I probably cut it off quicker than not. Friendships, which is weird. Sometimes I'm a little bit more lenient. You know, you try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and then, eventually you have to say, well, this is not going to work.
Mm.
Um, I think also to that point, it was different. It's different for me when I moved to Maryland. Making new friends, the same with dating. I'm quicker to cut them off now if they're newer. If they're old friends, I think that's the hard part.
Right.
Or
Hmm.
old relationships, because you are more a little bit more sympathetic. You've known the person for a long time. You say, well, what about this part of this person is great, that part of this person is great, but they may have made one mistake or two mistakes. But I think
Mm.
if you have a notion that you should cut people off, I think more times than not you should.
That's
Right.
good.
All right.
The question you didn't ask was, do I communicate with people before I cut them off?
Well, do
Uh,
you?
yeah,
Do you ghost? Do you tell them?
yeah,
Text?
yeah.
Call? Face to face? What you do? Uh
To,
oh.
to
Ebony looks
that
like a ghoster to me.
She hit that
to that
block
point.
button.
You'll hit the block button and you will never to be seen again.
Wow.
I know. Okay, so I know it's bad. I'm gonna stop doing it. I'm gonna stop. But I just feel like sometimes, like, I don't. We have this conversation. I don't feel like having it again. It's
Hmm.
just bringing my
Mm.
life down 2 points.
So when we're thinking, well, in this, no, really, in this conversation, and we're talking about ghosting, perhaps, are we just thinking about romantic relationships versus like friendships?
Oh yeah, I don't really
Because
ghost friends. That's
but
that's
and
Yeah.
so to your point, I think like you know I think that that's okay because you don't really know these people. Like if you
Mhm.
people you date, right, to get to know someone. You know what I mean? That's the whole person of date. That's the whole reason of dating, is to get to know someone. So if you don't really know this person and you're like, it's not really going anywhere, like you haven't really formed that much of a relationship with them where you have like
Hmm.
where you necessarily, oh, I'm gonna say, oh, them an explanation as to why you cut them off. Like, hey, it's not going anywhere because people might overstep and like they might just continue trying even though hey, this isn't going anywhere. Let me not lead you on. Let me let you know it is what it is. I'm putting a stop to it. Versus whether if it's a friendship, a long-standing friendship. In my opinion, and how I feel about it is, if it's a long-standing friendship or someone that you've had friendships with for a long time, they might be or deserve some type of explanations why you guys just aren't as close anymore, or perhaps it's just the friendship just isn't what it was or what it used to be.
Hmm.
My wife always says people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And that being said, if
Yeah.
it isn't long term, you know what I mean, nope, hey, I can love you from a
Mhm.
distance. It was a period in time, not gonna take it personal. You do
Yeah.
you, I'm doing me, no love lost. It is what it is. So that's
Mm.
good.
And that's
Cam,
exactly, I remember, I specifically remember Ebony saying that when she cuts them off in the beginning, like, I don't owe them anything. I don't know
Hmm.
them
right,
enough to care. I don't owe. And she used
exactly.
that same word. So that is,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Hmm.
As far as me cutting people off, I don't really cut anybody off. So I've even been in talking to someone who was a complete narcissist, verbally abusive in all ways, shape, or form. Didn't realize it at first.
Hmm.
But I mean, I saw a couple red flags, but I just didn't really know, like, because I never talked to a narcissist before. But let me tell you, that is the most toxic relationship ever. And even when it came down to the last conversation, I still have not blocked him on my phone. I still haven't. It wasn't like one of those, I don't ever want to talk to you again. Like he kind of said that. He was just like, dropped a couple cuss words and all this stuff. I was like, what's happening? But if he were to call me right now, it would go through. If he were to text me, it would go through. Even friends that I don't talk to right now, I never delete their numbers out of my phone because I still want to know like who's calling if they do happen to call.
Yeah.
So I never really
Mhm.
cut anyone off. I may stop texting them or calling them
Right.
and allow them the door. Like, hey, if they want to text or call me, they can, it'll still come through. But I don't ever like close the door on anybody. And that's probably a bad thing. But you just never know what people are going through at that time. And they may want to hit you up. Now I'm not gonna say I haven't like ghosted people. If they're texting me, the guy who got me the other day when I was running the neighborhood, I was like, dang, he done hit the U-turn. Let me give him my number. He texts me right then because I'm like, dang it, I can't lie now because phone's right here in my hand. I'm listening to the music. But when he texts me a couple times, I was like, not responding. Probably could have gave him a fake number. But when they're right in front of you, you feel like, I don't know about you, Ebony, but you feel kind of like, I need to get a Google number. You kind of feel like you got to give them something. And they
It's
always want to call.
also,
What?
I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's also a safety thing too, because people
They-
crazy.
yeah, they're right there. And they always want to
Yeah.
call or text you right then. So you're like,
Mhm.
dang.
Well, yeah, I hate it when that switched
It's
over. It wasn't
awkward.
like that back in the day.
It
And then
wasn't.
yeah.
They would put it on a piece of paper or a napkin or something. You hit them when you get home, and or you waited 2 days because it was never
Hey,
the first day.
we jaded, yo, because we get you get excited when you get that number and then you go home and call it and it's the wrong number, yo. That's the most like ego crushing joint
Ever.
ever. So
Ever.
you got to
Is
be
it?
like,
It
so
hurt
yeah,
y'all
so
feelings.
and
Oh man,
so
yeah.
men have
Oh yeah.
evolved. We've evolved with technology. See, now dudes just be like, oh,
Let
we
me
get
call
the
you right
number.
now.
I'm gonna call you right now. Let me make sure that it's the
Right.
right number because if it's the wrong number, I'm gonna let you know right now that you called.
Like, oh yeah. So you got to be ready for that. And I don't respond to those if I don't want to talk to them. But
Mm,
other than that, like I haven't really just said, hey, you've wronged me. I'm cutting you off. We're not talking anymore, or block someone.
yeah,
Like bye. Like I haven't done that yet.
yeah. I would
I mean,
say,
friends, I have had conversations with friends before. This is way back in the day to say this is why we're not friends, but those were long-standing friendships. To your point, I'll pull back now if it's a friend now. I don't really think I have had to do that.
So back in the day, what was the thing that caused you to say we're not friends anymore? Like what was the straw?
So to Greg's point, you see what they are doing to other people, and you're like, well, they haven't done it to me yet. Let me continue being friends with them, and then eventually it is you. So it was one of those things. I had saw different certain behaviors that I didn't like.
Mhm.
I let me try to tell a little bit of the situation, not telling the situation. So at one point, I had been around this friend, and they had brought me. I had already noticed signs before, but I just kept being friends with this person, and I was around these guys one day. She had left, and the guy was like, "You want to head upstairs for a little bit?" And I was like, "For what?" And he was like, "Go upstairs. I can bring my friend up, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, for fucking what? Like, for what? And I know where he was going, but I wanted him to tell me. And then eventually he was kind of like, "You're not like your friend?" And at that moment, I knew. I was like, I don't know what she's into, but I'm not. And let me explain you why. I don't ever want people to view my character based on someone else. So
Right.
they're looking at me like, oh, you get down too. But that wasn't the straw. Like I still was friends with this person after that. It was some other stuff that happened that made me say, like, you don't value me as a friend.
Okay.
And you don't respect me. Respect is the number one reason I will really end a friendship. Like if you don't respect me and loyalty to y'all's point. Those are two things that I just can't get past.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll kind of go into that too. And the with me, I think that in the beginning, when it's new, when it's early, and you just realize that it's not for you, or in a relationship, or it's like when you're trying to build a relationship with somebody, I feel like like Greg said, like you don't owe them nothing. So
Mhm.
if you just stop answering the phone, or stop hitting them up, it's cool.
Do you
So I
think
kind of
it's the time frame with
I
that?
think the time frame has a lot to do with it, and uh, and not just the time frame alone, but as things get as time increases, you start to have more of a bond. So I think as the time increases and the bond increase, then you start to that's kind of what more so determines the explanation. So I think that um, I'm like, I can't remember which one of y'all said it, but I'm more like, if you just talking to somebody, you're trying to get to know them, like from a relationship standpoint, it's easier for me. I feel like it's whatever. Like if y'all start talking, y'all just start talking, right?
Mhm.
But from a friendship standpoint, I feel like you probably should communicate with that person, like let them know this is why I can't rock with you no more, So because y'all got that, if y'all had that friend, if y'all called each other friends, there was some respect, some loyalty there. I think that you owe it to them to discuss with them why you're not rocking with them no more.
Mhm.
So, and I think in a relationship, if y'all have had like longevity in it, you probably should do the same thing. Cause I know I would want to know, if I've been if we've been talking for a year, we've been dating and stuff, and then I don't want to be ghosted all of a sudden. I'm be like, what happened? Like, cause a lot of times we don't know. We don't know what happened. If you just stop talking to us, we're like, what happened? Like, tell me so I know, because I want to know what happened so that I know if it was something, if you think that I'm a narcissist, let me know that so that I can correct it. Obviously, if I'm a narcissist, I ain't gonna care, but
I'm
I'm
about
just
to
using
say
that
you're
as an
already gonna know it. It
example.
doesn't matter to you.
Right. But I'm just using that as an example. Like if you think that if you think that, hey, I'm too emotional for you, or I'm not emotional enough, or whatever the case may be, let me know what those things are, because I'm a person and I want to be able to improve myself as well. So I don't know, that's the
That's
way I
good.
look at it.
Yeah, and like I like that, Cam, that you said that too, because it's almost like, as far as romantic relationships, it's almost like an actual job interview, right? You take all this time working on your resume to get it
Mm-hmm.
to a certain point, and you submit it, and you got the interview, and but you didn't get the job. Eventually, you're gonna be like, well, dang, why didn't I get it? Like, how can
Yeah.
I improve, or how can I be better for this next
Yep.
opportunity? Same for a relationship. How can I improve, or what is a certain flaw that maybe I can, just kind of like work at to be better for this next person? Because if you don't know, then you have to ask and kind of figure it out. So I think it kind of goes back to that. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering your own question.
You're welcome.
Just
I don't mind. I don't
little
mind putting.
shade,
I don't
little
mind doubt
shade
that.
there.
Yeah,
No shade. I'm just saying.
It's a little shade.
I
It's all
like I
right
like
though.
doing a
It's all
little
right.
recap, but it's cool.
Just saying.
So speaking of ghosting and cutting people off, um, and dating, and just friends in general, I'm going all around the question, but I wanted to ask you guys: do you think men and women can just be friends?
Yep.
It's a good question.
Yep.
Um, yes,
Cam, you thought about that
but
too hard.
But
I did. And here's the reason I thought about that. So I'll be I'm gonna be real with y'all. I think that most of the time, in most cases, guys, when a guy is friends with a female, it's because there's some attraction there, right? So I think that we're human beings and we have attraction to other people. So I think that a lot of cases, if a male and a female are friends, is because for one of them felt some attraction at some point. Now that might not mean that it was that they're there now, you know, maybe that went away and they're good friends and, you know, they've talked about it, maybe not. But I think that men and women can be friends. But honestly, I feel like a lot of times it's because more times than not, it's because there was some attraction there. That's my opinion on it.
What are you trying to say?
Obviously, not always the case. Not always the case, but
Oh, okay.
a lot of times, yeah.
I was about to say, so you saying men can't be friends with an ugly woman?
No, that's not.
Because that's what I took from it. Because they got to have some
Well,
form of
first off,
attraction to be a friend.
no,
So
no,
if
no,
I
no,
was
that's not what
ugly,
I'm
you couldn't
saying.
even be my friend.
That's not what I'm saying. No,
Okay.
no. Maybe I
Alright.
didn't explain that well enough. So first of all, I think that that
He about to say
attraction.
his answer now, Sierra.
No, I'm not
Because
gonna
that's
change
kind
my
of what
answer.
I
I think
heard.
that
I was like,
no,
okay,
no,
so
no,
she
no.
got to be cute at least to be her friend.
That's not what I'm saying. First off, attraction
Did you hear
is
that, Ebony? Sorry.
attraction is relative, right? So I mean, honestly, like, I mean, hell, I could tell you in the group chat, I could tell you the group chat, right? With the fellas, sometimes the fellas will she's talking about girls, and I'm like, she ain't attractive to me. You know what I'm saying? So like, and vice versa. So I think that attraction is relative, but I think what I'm saying is that it doesn't have to necessarily be a physical attraction either, right? So I might
Mhm. Okay.
be attracted to the way that you carry yourself or your demeanor or your personality or whatever the case may be. And that's why we friends. That's why, you know, I decided to talk to you and form this friendship, you know? And maybe I'm not even thinking about, oh, I want to date you, but there was some type of attraction there. That's all I'm saying.
Way to reel
So
that one back
Oh,
in.
he cleaned that up.
Didn't he though? Because
Hey, shout out to you, bro. I just, you know, I don't even have to say nothing else. You
on
cleaned that
top
right
of
on
you
up.
was on top of that. Go ahead, because you did that
I'm
though.
just saying.
You
I'm
did
just
that.
saying.
All right. So then Cam has given his answer.
Mhm.
Greg, you were quick and said yes.
Because I mean, I've had, I have female friends, and um, taking it a different direction than Cam. Um, but to touch on something, I do agree with him. There's an attraction there. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical. But to Cam's point, I do feel like men are more visual when it comes to the attraction piece. But there is attraction that doesn't have to be physical. It doesn't have to be visual. It's like there was just like a certain maybe chemistry or something. You guys clicked in
Right.
conversation and something like that happens, and you're like, oh, you cool. You real cool. Like we can be cool.
Mhm.
And um to go in another direction, I think it's harder for men and women to be friends if it wasn't platonic from jump. Like if you've crossed that line and there's been romance or there's been intimacy in the relationship, I think it's harder to be friends in that particular situation versus maybe if it's platonic from jump and it's been cordial for jump. I have women friends, and it's always been platonic, it's always been cordial. And that's why I said, I mean, yes, it's the understanding too. And me, obviously, being a married person, I'm not gonna go there, but I'm thinking of it from a friendship standpoint too. And if I was single, still not going there, because you value the relationship more than you
Right.
value your own agenda.
Sure.
If you guys have a long-standing relationship, even if you are both single, you like, what, this could jeopardize the relationship if I were to necessarily go there. And being real with
Mhm.
you, I'm gonna be transparent with you. It's probably usually the guy that takes that step and says, hey, you know what, maybe we can, and I can't say in all relationships, but I'm just saying, how men are, and they're like, hey, you know what, I've been feeling you for the longest, and start saying this, and next thing they're trying to get to this next level.
Mhm.
So but if you value the friendship more, which you don't want to jeopardize that by saying let's try to do the romantic thing. So
Yeah. Yeah. And you can be attracted. I think you can be physically attracted to your friend and then not be there. Like it could be plutonic,
right,
because if you've made the
right,
decision that, hey, this is we friends, I'm not gonna go there with this person, then
right.
I think that's definitely feasible. Like it doesn't have to, you don't have to act on all of your thoughts and emotions, right?
And
I
And
think that
hormones.
goes for anything.
loyalty too. Back to our previous conversation, to piggyback on that, Cam. Like, what if it's a situation where, and I can only speak for myself, but what if it's a situation where we're single, but you know, there is a physical attraction, and you're wondering if, you know, there could be something there. However, you know, she was with the homie, or she was with the bestie, or she, you know, he or she type of situation, right? You're not going to do that, because the loyalty part comes in, where you're not going to be like, nah, yo, she used to rock with, you know,
That's a
she used to
whole
rock
other
with the homie.
conversation, but
That is
But I'm
look,
just
you saw
saying,
me pop up right
though.
because
But no,
that
but
I'm
yeah,
just
no, I
saying.
mean that's a
it's
factor.
real. It's a real thing. I just don't agree with it, but we're not gonna go down this. So
I don't know. We might need to go there because now I'm
no,
curious.
I
I
do
feel like we
not
talked
like
about
that.
this before.
We have, and because we'll stick to the conversation with the can men and
We might
women be friends?
we might can jump into that later. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But I
But
agree.
y'all, yeah, go ahead.
I would say I agree. Men and women can be friends. I have a really good friend. It's a guy. I've never looked at him like that. Um, we're like friends. We're homies. Like that's just what it is. So he may.
Do you think that he's ever looked at you like that?
I mean, I know he has commented on some of my features, but it's in a jokingly way. Like he's got little nicknames, but it's not like he's never tried anything on me. So I
Mhm.
don't think I think I'm just one of those like, oh well, he just likes the shape and he may comment on that, but he's not gonna ever take it to that point because we have been friends since like 04, 05. Ain't
Okay.
nothing happening there. It's done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we are literally just friends.
Yeah. I think that goes into exactly what I'm saying. It sounded to me like he probably had or has some physical attraction to you. But he just knows not to act on it. He knows that you don't feel that way, and he's probably realized it over the years that y'all just cool, y'all tight, and he respected that relationship. So I think that, um, you know, men and women can have relationships like that in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
What about you, Ebony? What you think?
So here's the thing. You guys make me think a little bit because I've been friends with um guys since forever, right? But
Mhm.
there's no attraction that I'm aware of. Um, and then I just think about all the guys that I've ever been friends with. I'm like, wait a minute, makes a good point. I don't necessarily maybe didn't really look into see if they were attracted to me. I just assumed they just want to be my friend. And then also guys that I've connected with or want to be friends with, maybe is because, to your point, I might have been attracted to their personality or, you know, maybe their looks or something like that. So maybe, I don't know. I feel like men and women can be friends though. And it's nothing.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, would y'all agree that it's easier to hang out with somebody that you have some kind of attraction to, right? Like whether that's you feel attracted to their personality or the way they look or something like that.
I'll bring my good old friend Patrick into this. Never been
Mhm.
attracted to Patrick. Patrick don't want me. I don't want
Mhm.
Patrick, right?
Okay.
So I don't know if as close as me and Patrick has been in the past, and even people thought we dated in college, I don't know if I would have been as close to him had I been attracted to him or he had been attracted to me, maybe.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
think we would have been as cool. I mean, I think about somebody that I was attracted to that I was really cool with, but even that friendship faded based on them not being loyal, but that's besides the point. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, somebody else answer. I'm trying to go back in my memory bank.
Yeah. I'm just curious.
No, I think uh to your point, Ebony, you and Pat's relationship, like you guys not being attracted to each other, like the wall is down. I feel like maybe if like there's if you have a certain attraction to someone, maybe there's a certain wall up because you're just kind of nervous,
Mm-hmm.
whether
Mm.
it's you're able to kind of like be yourself, and just be like just your full self and be super comfortable with someone. So therefore that might have something to do with it. Like that's kind of what I take from it, because you can be your, but also I think if you can be yourself, that if there is that might build attraction. But I mean, I think it just in that particular, in that relationship, in that scenario, I think that might be helpful as far as just like being able to let your walls down. So
Mhm.
so
Yeah. I think men have different tactics when they trying to form relationships with people, right? So um, some men are very direct. Like, the guy that hit the U-turn and like, hey, what's up? He's probably a more direct person. Some people are that
Mhm.
way. They like, yo, I'm gonna tell you how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking right now. And some people are not that way. Some people are
Mm.
like, let me get to know you and make sure that this feeling that I'm thinking about is really there. And then I want to see if there's a vibe here as well. So some men take that approach. And I think that sometimes relationships can form, like friendships, I should say, can form from that initial
Mhm.
feeling. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's kind of where I was going, when I was talking about it earlier as well.
it has to do with intent, to your point. Like
Intent, exactly.
what's the intent when we when we meet, or like you don't know what the other person may think, and whether man or woman. So to your point, Cam, I think it has to do with intent first, because if
Yeah.
your intent is to kind of see where it goes, automatically in your head you kind of like formed this relationship with someone uh before you even really get to have a whole conversation with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a certain intent there, because just like you said, some guys are more direct, whereas other guys aren't as direct, but there's still the intent there of I can potentially see this as a relationship versus a friendship. So
Hmm.
Oh, for those guys where the intent of it being a relationship later on is there in the back burner, and for us, it may appear as though he's shy or he's not really interested. Do you ever, do you think that a woman should ask him? So, like, at what point do you think a woman should be like, "What's your intent? Like, we're friends. Are you thinking this is gonna go somewhere, or do you just let him kind of just build this friendship and you not know what it's gonna be? Because you're friends, right? You're not
Hmm.
dating, so you really shouldn't ask. But at the same time, should you?
yeah, I mean, I think it has to do with first off, or are you where are you guys at in life? Like, are you both available? And if so, yeah, I mean, I think that's you know um a valid question that both people should ask, in my opinion.
So
I
you
think
should.
being
Yeah.
friends looks different too. So making a friend in your 20s versus making a friend in your 30s, I think if I make a friend now, there has to be some sort of attraction. Like I'm not just being friends with you, but maybe before, you just kind of be friends with people who are like around. So
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Because in
Yep.
college, you can make friends with all kind of people because there's just so many people around, right? Y'all got
Right.
classes
Yep.
together. You might be at a house party together, and then they see you around campus. So, yeah, I 100% agree with that. Yeah, it's definitely. But to answer your question, Sierra, I think you should probably ask. Just be straight up. See, like with me, I'm I've learned, now that I'm in my 30s, that it's easier just to be kind of direct with it. So it's like after y'all been hanging out or whatever, or chatting or whatever the case may be, and just be completely direct with it and just be like, hey, this is real quick, I just wanted to ask you how you feeling about this,
Mm.
and just see what their thoughts are. And if everybody's honest, I think you can create a good assessment of where you're going from there. So
Mhm.
if so that's where I'm at. Like where I'm at now, I'll just straight up be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Like I want to be direct with you, and I want to see if you feeling the same way, or if we on different pages here. And
Mm.
then if the girl is like, no, we don't, I ain't really I was really thinking that way, or I'm not feeling that way, and you like, cool, boom, I know this is a friendship, and I
Mm.
like you, I like your personality, so like I want us to continue to be in friends, but now I know that I don't need to take it that way, you know.
Right.
So I think if you can establish that, the sooner the better. You just had that conversation to be straight up.
it makes sense.
Yep.
Good advice.
Because I feel like most women, I don't know, maybe not most, but most women are not initially I'm lying. Never mind. Just scratch what I'm about to say. I was going to say most women are initially thinking about like, oh, you know, I like him. We're going to date, but maybe not, because most women probably are just like
Build the whole relationship in their
Mhm.
mind after the
Be
first
married.
time. But it's different when they're your friend. So you don't build that relationship, but then you start to really like them. So you're like, could this be? Because I like talking to him. Could it be more?
Mhm.
But then you don't want to ask because you don't want to ask it. And he think, oh, well, she wants me now. So now I got to
Mhm.
back up my friendship with her. So it becomes sticky. But like you said, if you do it in the beginning, I guess that can kind of completely get it out of the way.
Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
I look at it like it'll be sticky either way. So
Right.
it's easier. It's less sticky if you do it sooner than later. You know, because if
Mm,
it could get ugly down the road. So if you do it
right.
now, I think it's less sticky.
Yeah. I think that's good advice.
Thank you, Cam.
Anytime, anytime. It's me trying to answer my questions, right?
Thank you.
Answering
We
my
gonna
own
be good
questions.
friends by the end of this. Yeah, at first I
Hey,
was like,
that's
see,
the
he trying to
point.
cheat, but we building a relationship, a friendship right here.
Yeah, or
Live.
so let me ask y'all this. You know, since we talking about this whole dating thing, when it comes to now that you all are in your 30s, I know that women a lot of times younger they have goals. Do y'all have goals now as far as like relationship goals? Like I want to be married by this age, or are you thinking that your New Year's resolution? I need to start dating somebody this year, or whatever the case may be. Do y'all have any thoughts or goals that like that?
So I threw resolutions out the window because they don't work. I don't necessarily know if I'm like, oh, I need to date. See, I got one resolution. Oh, I ain't gonna tell y'all. Just skip past me. Go ahead, Sierra.
We want to know. You can't do
Right.
that.
So when it comes to relationships, I know you guys don't know, but I was previously engaged. We called it off back in 2018.
Mm,
And since then, I haven't really seriously dated anybody at all. The first year, didn't even think about it. So I'm slowly starting to, like, right when COVID hit, it was like, oh, right, it's been 2 years. I can finally start to
mm,
think about dating because I've done the work on my own and I'm ready. Then
yeah.
COVID hit and dating's like out the window. So I do feel like I want to date, but I'm not going to say I'm going to date somebody and get married in a year and have kids in 3 years or whatever, even though I'm 35 and, you know, stuff is ticking. I don't want to put those pressures of any dates that I have to hit, but I'm just going to say right now, I feel like I've done a lot of work and I'm ready to see what's out there and just let it organically happen.
Mm,
And I have already told my line sisters, if I hit y'all and say, hey, I met this dude 3 months ago, we about to get married in a month, know that I'm sure because I've been through it. I've done the
mm,
premarital by myself because he stopped going, but I did the work then and I've done work since then. And I feel like when I know, I'm going to know, and it's not going to take me a set amount of years or time to do it. So,
mm.
Ebony, you too. Like, look,
Interesting.
it may don't be surprised if I hit you with that text like our other friend. Hey girl,
Oh yeah,
How,
let's get married.
definitely. He's
Because
like,
how long were you dating your previous fiance?
my ex, we were together for 2 years before he proposed. And then we were
Okay.
together almost another year after that. So
Mm,
about
okay.
roughly 3 years total.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
And we're still cool. So nothing bad happened. Just
how do you
just actually
plan
saw him
on
the other
dating
day.
during the quarantine?
Hmm?
That's a question. How do you plan on dating during the quarantine? Because I listen, during this pandemic, I went out on a few dates, and this one one scared me, and I was like, okay, no more dates after this, right? It was like
Mm,
in the height of COVID, and I think I made him off a dating app or something like that. And so went out, and like he didn't have on his mask, like he was trying to talk to me real close. He was trying to hold my hand. I was just like, you know what, this is too uncomfortable for me. It's COVID. I don't know if you have COVID or not, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even like you like that for real. This is just not gonna work out. So,
mm,
There's creative ways to date. I've done a movie date.
but what I'm
Um,
saying is to build that initial, like, first of all, to meet someone. That's
Mhm.
number one.
Mhm.
And then date.
So you're asking how do I
That's two parts.
Okay, so meeting someone, I may have already met him. He may be already on my friends list for all I know. So I might have to tap into the friendships that I already have and see if they can grow to something. As far as a new person, like I said, I was running the neighborhood. Man, literally waved at me on the way back past. I waved at him too. I didn't think he was gonna hit the U-turn, but he did. So you still can meet people out. You can still meet people in the grocery store. I did not
Mhm.
have a mask on when I was running. I keep it in my little hoodie. So if I'm by other people, I'll put it on. But when I'm just jogging myself, like I'm not trying to suffocate myself. So he saw what I looked like and he was in the car. So I saw what he looked like. But meet somebody out and then you can just be creative with how you do the dates. And even if it's mostly phone calls and virtual brunches that you're doing, you can do that and then meeting them in person once it warms up. If you want to jog with me, he can jog with me too. So I think you can be creative with how you date someone, but and you can also be creative in where you meet people because you're going to meet the right person whether it's COVID or not. So you'll meet them when you're supposed to meet them,
Sounds
Yeah.
easy.
and that's why I'm not stressing over it. So I'm letting it just kind of be what it is. Like I'm not like let me jump on here and let me find somebody so I can go out on a date. It's like if I run into him or if he slides in the DM or texts me because I never blocked his number and he still got my number and we were friends then and now it's just it's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen. So I've been focusing on other stuff. But I feel as though I'm ready. Like I'm not gonna turn someone down now because I'm still trying to get over a broken engagement,
Yeah.
which is a lot. It's hard.
I can only imagine. All
So you gonna answer your own question?
Who? Me?
Mhm.
What was the question again?
right.
It was about
How you gonna find somebody and how you gonna date during COVID?
I don't know, because for me, one, I work from home. I think when you work from home, it's a little harder. I do Instacart, so I don't go to the grocery store. Um, maybe when I go out to a restaurant or something, I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe stop Instacarting and go to the
Grocery store.
mailbox every day.
The mailbox is downstairs.
There can be somebody in your building.
Never
You
know.
never know. That's what I'm
Never
saying. You
know.
never really know. So
I don't know. The thing about the mask is like it's hard to tell. So like
Mm-hmm.
with women, sometimes they got all this. You got all this covered. So like sometimes you can look in the eyes and you be like, "Dang, she probably cute," but you never really know. You never know for sure until they
same with
take the
guys.
mask off. You, what's up?
It's same with the guys. Like
Oh yeah, I bet.
we can see just your eyes. We can kind of see how your chest is, but we don't really know. You can be all jacked up with
Never
the
exactly.
nose. You never know.
Nose might, teeth might be jacked up. You don't know,
Right.
right?
Don't know.
Yeah.
I think
So
dating
that's
is gonna look very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still doable with anything else, right? Got to
Mm-hmm.
find a way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It'll
yeah.
yeah, find a way, work it out, try some different things, but you definitely are gonna
I'll
need to
definitely no to the apps because I try apps and apps just for me don't work.
right. I was gonna
Mm.
say you definitely need to get out in some way. Or even if it's not like using an app like a dating app, you can I've seen stuff on Instagram where like, yeah, he slid in my DMs because I commented on X or Y or something like that and he saw my pictures and then we started talking and then we met in person. So it doesn't have to be a specific dating app. It can be
Mm.
Oh my
like
God, we talk about this all the time. Nobody slides in my DMs.
but you can do
Mm.
that.
Yeah. I tell you the trick on on Instagram.
Mm.
You gotta when you looking at the stories, right? You gotta comment on the story. Like when they post something, with the I don't know, like the fire emoji or something like that. I don't know, it might start a conversation.
Right.
But guys don't look at that weird, be like, oh, she's trying to talk to me.
No,
No.
I think girls look at it that way. I never so like if a girl like puts a fire emoji or whatever, or a laughing emoji or whatever on one of my stories, I never look at it that way. I'm like, okay, she
You
just
just start the
like the
conversation.
post.
Right.
Yeah, she's like the post. So like I'm never looking at like, oh, she trying to talk to me. Nah, I don't look at it that way. I feel like some girls probably look at it that way. Like if I hit your post with the fire emoji or something, or I hit you, I laugh at it. I feel like girls might look at it
Mhm.
like, oh, he trying to talk, I
Mhm.
don't
Man,
know
majority of women look at that like that.
We
He
do.
was in my he was in my DMs.
though.
He
Like,
trying to
let's just
holla.
let's just put it on out there. Like as soon as you say or do anything, he was in my DMs. Like
Mm.
just a quick hello. I was just saying hey, and I really like your outfit. Like honestly, like that was it. But
Let's talk about the DMs. So if a guy hits you in their DM, what is it that'll make you respond? Are you looking for a certain comment, from a guy? Do they have to approach it a certain way, or is it just you look at it and if it's a person that you think you might like, do you respond to it? How does that work?
I think that they're just nice. And if I look at it and I'm like, oh, sometimes I just respond in general. So I think if I'm not rude like that, so if they're nice, I'm going to respond regardless.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing. Like I don't get a whole lot of random um DMs. My page is private. So it goes into that little thing like you can click to look at it or not.
Yeah.
But if you just hit me with the hey beautiful, no. I've started friendships with people where I've commented on something that they said, and then he came back and tried to follow me. I was like, okay, cool. What he said made sense. So it looked like he got some sense. So we started following each other, and then he just randomly started to talk more about what I said or what we both agreed to. And that's just how the friendship started. Just talking about having a mutual friend and commenting on their posts. So just don't hit me with the hey beautiful, you look great. And then I see you from Nigeria. I'm like, no. Reject. Like I'm not taking that. But if you come with substance, something, and not just a good morning beautiful, then
You can't be a sugar daddy.
those sugar daddy ones. That's why I'm so glad my page is private. Because they come all the time, like $2,000 a week, 5,000. No.
What? It's
And then
crazy.
I tried to repost it, and then Instagram came at me. Talking about I had to pull down your story. How you gonna pull down my story? He sent it to me. Anywho.
Wow.
Please. But yeah, so
That's
don't just come with the boring hey or how was your evening? Because anyone can ask that. Make it an open-ended question, but something that
Yeah,
really
questions are better.
would really need a response. Like, how's your evening is open-ended, but it's like, come on now. Good. You want something that she's gonna want to talk about. Look at her page and see what she's got going on. And just talk about that because we want to talk about what we like. So she's already shown you what she like.
Yeah.
So like you
Hey,
said, hit
it's
that
free game
story.
for the fellas right here.
Yeah,
Hit that
I was gonna say
story.
free game, free game.
Free
Yes.
game. Free game for the fellas. Okay.
But don't be fake with it. Don't be like, well, look, she just posted a flower. So hey girl, I like flowers too. You like flowers? Oh, no. Like, come on now. Be a little extra, like into the conversation.
Okay.
And then what if I don't know, sometimes I like to give guys a hard time just to see how they'll respond, but it's just me.
Give
You
us
be
an
like, boy,
example. What you
yeah, I'm
mean?
about to say, what do you say to give him a hard time?
Depends on what somebody have to give me like something a guy would say.
Hey girl, what's up? How you doing? You're pretty.
Oh, I'll probably be like, am I? Or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. I learned like in my 20s to leave the hey beautifuls or good morning beautiful or whatever. You leave that's kind of whack, yeah.
Because the thing
It's
is,
corny.
you're saying it to me. I know you're probably saying it to somebody else. That's the thought process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So try not to make it as generic.
Yeah.
But then
I know
at
you
the
feel
same,
it to other people. It's fine.
but then at the same time, you appreciate that later. The hey beautiful or the good morning beautiful. Like it's
Yeah.
When I know
appreciated
you
later. If
just
you make
texted
it,
I'm about
me.
to say when
And
I know
they,
I'm the only one.
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. They
Be-
like women only care. Women only want you to call them beautiful if they know that they the only one that you talking to. Like if it's early on in a relationship, I feel like they don't really want to hear that.
hmm
You know,
So
we're
you know,
not dumb, and we know that you guys could set up a whole bunch of text messages at night, put that little timer on, says, "Hey, beautiful," send it to 10 different
mhm,
people, schedule those at night. That don't mean unless you put
yeah,
like, yeah, we know we are not the only one in the beginning, so don't send us that. We know what we look like. Okay,
exactly,
maybe a
or
"Hey,
exactly.
beautiful, I'm outside with breakfast." Okay.
or that or that what you doing text during work hours.
I don't
Work.
have my phone during work hours, so that don't
That
matter to me.
that WYD text. What
Wow.
you doing? I'm working. What you mean? What
Right.
I'm doing?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-mm.
So,
Okay.
Yeah,
any
but
other DM questions? Okay. Did that help you out?
nah,
That
hey,
help the listeners out?
yeah, I think they have the listeners. I ain't sliding no DMs, so
Why not?
because I'm in a relationship, so
Oh, okay.
I'm laying low right now.
Yeah,
But
you
I never
want
been
to
honestly though, I never been a big sliding the DMs person anyway. So I just feel like it's like I said earlier, I think that a lot of women look at it, they have like a negative perception of it. So unless I got something of substance to comment on,
Right.
I'm not going to just like hit your DM and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know. Now, if you post something and I got something of substance to add to that to say, or if I like it or whatever, then I'll write something then, or I'll comment on it. And then if you come back and say something, then maybe we'll start a conversation. And that's how I roll with it. So I never been the type to hop in the DMs though. So
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, but the like I told you, I learned the hey beautifuls, that stuff. That's kind of whack anyway. So
I feel like it's tough for women too. Like we can't. There's a lot of. I mean, I probably wouldn't even if I could go and slide in somebody DMs and be like, "Hey, like, what do you say to a guy? Hey,
Not the same
Hey,
thing.
hey, that's a good point though. I'm
yeah.
actually glad you brought that up because so I follow and I'm not gonna say any name. I don't know, they might not care, but I'm not gonna say your name, but and y'all might follow them too. But anyway, they have their whole story of how they met and now they're engaged. But she jumped in his DM, like, she shot her shot
Mm,
and they've been dating for exactly Steph Curry on him, and but either way, she shot her shot, and I can't remember correctly, but it was something like, hey, how are you? Listen, I saw a couple of your pictures. You're handsome, and literally the combo just picked up from there. So it's
mm.
like I don't know. To your point, Ebony, do you think that it's better if maybe more women, because I'm not gonna lie, from men, and I can speak on it like, long time ago, long time ago, but jumping or trying to initiate conversation, it's because we ain't gonna talk about it, even if we're really confident, we're still like we might get rejected, so it's kind of tough, so we're still
Mhm.
kind of shy, but it is more so for men to pursue and have that chase versus women, but this is the new day and age, so do you think maybe more women should be like just jumping in like, hey, what's going on, and just being real, like not even saying just like you said, hey, or it could be something, I don't know. I don't know.
I I think that if I can jump in there, I think for a woman, so I feel like guys, unless he's like a celebrity or something, guys, we're not getting DMs like that. So if you just hit a dude, we don't have girls like, oh my God, you're so handsome, in our DMs. So if you hit them and be like, hey, what's up? I think you'll get a conversation out of that. Like, dude, be like, oh, yeah,
That's all it
my
takes.
phone dry as hell, so I'm gonna hit you back
Mhm.
anyway. You know what I mean?
No, real
Just
talk.
like
Yeah, yeah.
just like real talk. It's gonna be like, oh, what's up? And then then you just say something else, and I think you could really start a conversation that way. Because guys, like I said, we're not. It's not like girls are approaching us all the time. So like women, y'all got dudes always approaching you, you at the gas station trying to pump your gas and dudes talking to you and stuff like that. So it kind of gets like overwhelming, or like just you kind of get over it because it's always somebody in your face. But dudes, it's not like that with us. So I think when a girl approaches us, we usually a little bit more surprised by it. And it's kind of like, oh, okay. That's what's
More
up.
free
Like,
game.
what's going on? Yeah.
I
What's
don't
going on?
know, because I feel like it's sets the tone for the relationship. So if I have to initiate this, what else do I have to initiate? Like, I don't know if guys always see that as like a win, like, oh, she approached me. Now I got to hear the story on holidays when you tell like how we met on Christmas.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I mean, that's a good point, but I don't know. I don't think if like if you have a conversation with him and just let him know, like we don't have to talk about this every time. But I think to your point, a guy should expect to kind of take the lead, afterwards, and I would hope he wouldn't expect you to be getting down on one knee after you guys been dating for a few months. And he's like, oh well,
She
she's the one that hit me
started it.
up first.
Yeah,
Exactly.
she
She
got
started
Proposed.
it.
Yeah.
So she,
Nah,
so
that's
she
whack.
but hey, you know what? I'm
you
just
could-
I'm just saying.
I think you should fill it
It
out.
happens.
I think you just
Yeah.
fill it out. You fill it
Right.
out. You can initiate it, and then as y'all start to chat and talk, I think you can fill out if he's starting to take more initiative or if he's waiting on you to do it. I think like after you, like if y'all start talking in the DMs and then you exchange numbers, one way to gauge it just to kind of see where he's at is like y'all exchange numbers and you just wait for him to hit you up.
Because
And then you're gonna see his initiative, right? You're gonna see, all right, boom, he hit you up today. Then tomorrow you'll be able to see if he's consistent and if he's taking the charge, you'll know.
yeah, to your point, Cam, I just I think it goes back to men, and we don't get the same experiences of women coming at us or what have you. Like, we can't speak for all men, but we do know that we're not going to have more women approaching us like women have men approaching them all the time, like consistently on a consistent basis, like trying to get at you or trying to holler, trying to get in your DMs or trying to holler at the gas station or something like that. It's different for men. So for a woman who might feel like, I'm not about to like approach this man, it's gonna make me look desperate, I don't think it's like that or something, because men aren't approached as much, and it's definitely probably more genuine and more. I mean, 9 times out of 10, a woman that is going to approach a man is going to approach them with substance, and it ain't gonna be on no bullshit versus, it's not going to be no BS versus really, versus a man who who's just doing this over and over again to several different women all the time. You know what I mean? So
I will say, I thought that women, because of this whole movement now, like that they're being more forward and actually doing more of the initiating of these conversations and DMs. But I could be wrong, but I thought they was out there shooting their shots.
Yeah.
More than what they used to.
Yeah, I think that's probably true to an extent. I mean, I've seen some women, I've dated some women in the past who were a little bit more forward, like, or initiated conversations with me. So I can see that being true.
So in order to slide in, this is for the women who plan on DMing guys. What should they say? Should they go on his profile and like find something, like Sierra said, that they enjoy and comment on it, or just wait until a story pops up and then just kind of like send an emoji? And then wait like 2 weeks and then like
listen, dudes are like
simple.
Very simple. Very simple. So like you ain't got to think about it too much. You could just be like, honestly, hey, Ebony, I promise you, if you hit a dude right now, you could test this. I promise you, hit a dude right now and be like, what's up? Right now. Be like, hey, hit on, just say, what's up? Question mark.
No, you can't. No, don't do that, Ebony. Because guys will look at that what's up as in WhatsApp. So
okay, I'm not
okay.
Don't say that.
Don't say what's up. I wouldn't look at it like that, but I get what you're saying.
Some guys can't.
So my advice would be to Wait on a story, something that you know like, where you can spark conversation that you're interested in, where both of you guys are interested in. Obviously, if they posted it, they're interested in it because they
Right.
posted it.
Mhm.
They're interested in it in some way, shape, or
Mhm.
form, so
Right.
it can spark a conversation. Or, you know, because I'm sure, you know, there's been times where, you know, a single individual will, you know, see a profile and like, oh, she's beautiful, or, you know, a
Mhm.
woman would be like, oh man, you know, he's fine, or whatever. Go and like a couple pics. They go like a couple pics back, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you can go and like something that you're like, oh, that's dope. When did you do this and how did you like it? I literally think that's genuine. It ain't on no,
That's good
you
advice.
know, it ain't on
Yeah.
no flaw stuff. Like, you know, they were, you know, out in this particular location or something, and you're like, I've always wanted to go there. What did you think about it? And like literally it's you know, I think like that's the best advice. And then men will be like, you know, oh snap, you know, especially like I said, if you know,
Mhm.
she look, you know, he looks at the, you know, who it is, and he's like, oh
Mhm.
man, you know, she looks good. You
Mhm.
know, I can't wait, because they're gonna be surprised. I don't care who, if they say they're not, they're lying. They're gonna be surprised.
Yes.
They're gonna be like, oh snap, let me be fumbling with their phone, you know, ready for the conversation, because men don't get hit up like that. So I
So
think
I was
that's, I mean,
gonna
that's
try
my
to do it just for podcast purposes, but I don't really know anybody that I would be willing to slide. I don't know anybody on Instagram that I'm like, oh, let me slide in their DMs. So I can't do that. But
Mm.
I had a question. Darn it, I forgot it. It was okay. Somebody else talk. I'll remember in a few seconds. It was a good question.
Mm.
Was it along the same lines as being in the DMs or?
Mm-hmm. It
Okay.
was, and
It's about
oh,
approach.
what if you feel like you're not his type? What advice for those girls or women who are trying to slide into this guy's DM, but maybe they feel like, oh well, you know, I don't look like his type.
I think there's misconceptions around the type. Like, I don't know. It's like, I think people are creatures of habits, and they a lot of times might look like they talking to the same people a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I think most people are more open to different types than you probably think.
Okay,
So
I was gonna say like if he looks like he only dates white girls, and
You're
yeah,
clearly not white,
you
so
can
should you?
that might be a little bit different, but I think that, I mean, there might be some black guys who really just like, nah, they like white girls, but um, I guess I was thinking more along the lines of, you're more brown skin, right? So if you see a guy, all the girls, knows all the girls he dated been light skinned, that might
mm-hmm.
not really be an issue. Like, it might just be a coincidence. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
You
my
know,
only thing
shoot your
is
shot and find out.
I was about to say,
same,
shoot it.
same. Just, you know, try not to, you know, have predetermine, what they may like or what they might not like.
Mhm.
I literally had someone tell me, um, based on looking at me and the fact that I had a suit on, y'all, it was just like, it was a random person. I never met them before in my life. And they were like, yeah, it looks like your wife is white. First of all, I was like offended just because you don't know me. Even if she was white,
Wow.
it does, it was just weird, you know. So just like, uh, you know, I think it's, important to try not to, predetermine anything like that, and just go for it. You
Mm,
never know what's gonna happen. Just go for it.
right.
Okay. Um, guess one more question I had is, so I don't know why this question popped up in my head, but would you ever like hook up one of your friends with a friend? Because I think I personally would if I knew, I don't know, if their characters matched. Because you know some of your friends
Mhm.
that you're kind of like,
Mm,
Yeah, that yeah, for me, that's what it would be. It'll be their characters will have to match because, like, you know, Ebony, I wouldn't hook you up with my friend if I know a friend that I know is like a dirtbag. I wouldn't, if I know that he's like not very serious about relationships and he's just like to mess around with girls and that type of thing, I wouldn't hook you up with him because I would say y'all characters are different. You know, y'all not looking for the same thing. And I wouldn't, you know, if I'm the mutual friend, I definitely don't want to be the person to like, you
Coming
know,
back to
pitch.
you and be like,
Yeah, I
Cam,
don't want to come
Yeah,
back to me
exactly,
exactly. You know, so
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
yeah, I would be, for me, I'm very careful in that aspect. If I'm gonna hook two people up, or if I'm gonna like try to connect them, I'm gonna make sure that I know, at least I feel like their characters match and they're kind of on the same page with that stuff.
Yeah, it's hard for me. I've never played matchmaker for that one reason. Because
Yeah,
I don't want to come back on me. Not that I couldn't, but you just never know how things are going to work out. Because it's hard too if you know like your homeboy, your homegirl, like, dang girl, like you know he look good, or dang yo she fine, like put me on. You know if
hmm
they ask in that particular scenario, then you know I might try to explain, hey, your character matches, or this, you know, because you don't want to throw salt on
Mhm.
something. So basically, you just want to say, you know, character, yeah, it just might not match well. Me knowing you this way versus me knowing this person this way, you know, that's kind of a stickier situation, especially if they ask. But for me, I've
yeah,
never tried to play matchmaker, and that's the reason why. So
I was just curious because I feel like women do it more. Like,
That's one thing I will not do at all.
yeah,
I've had people ask me in high school. I still remember who he was and who he wanted to talk to, but I I feel as though even if I think they may be a good match, I'm not going to set them up. What I will do, however, is I'll say, hey, I'm going to be X, Y, and Z location. She will
mm,
be with me.
yeah, yeah.
Boom. Do what you got to do. Or
that's
I'm
good.
Do
having
what
a
you gotta
house
do.
party.
Yeah,
She will be there. You
yeah.
can come. If you need me to make that introduction as, oh, these are all my friends. Hey, Ebony, this is
hmm
blah, blah, and blah. I will do that. And that is it. Because you're not going to come, him, her. Nobody is coming to me later
Yeah,
on. Like, Sierra, you knew this, you knew that. Because even though they're your friends, you only know them on a certain level. You may not know how they are in a
true,
relationship because you were never in a relationship with them. So
true.
I've had guys get mad at me literally like, oh, she's so fine. Why you won't do this? High school. Cause y'all ain't gonna yell at me later on when this goes down, when it
Right,
blows up.
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
So mine's always a no.
Keep it neutral. Hmm.
Always a
yeah.
no. Now, if they start
Nah,
dating, that's gonna be real weird. If any of my friends did, it's like, okay, so don't come to me if something happens because I'm
right.
friends with the other. So they put you even then, even if you don't start it off, you're still gonna be in the middle. So maybe I could have
That's
helped, but
true.
no, I'm not. I'm not
Nah,
helping nobody.
I think that's a good point though. That's probably the best way to do it, the way that you described it, because I don't know if y'all have ever been like, or somebody's tried to like connect you or hook you up with somebody before. It's very awkward. It's very
I
awkward. So
Hmm.
haven't
like
had it yet.
I remember so I remember this is probably even more awkward because I remember one time my aunt tried to hook me up with this girl, right? And she was like, "Oh, y'all, you know, I think y'all would be such a wonderful couple. You know, you're handsome and she's so very pretty and she's got this going on and y'all, you know, y'all have a lot in common." And she sent me like she talked to both of us and you know we were like, "All right, whatever." So you know, she sent me. She's like, "Follow her on, be friends with her on Facebook or whatever." So I looked on her Facebook and we was friends. And girl was really beautiful. She very beautiful.
so that's
And
the part, right? Because that
yeah,
means
no. So I'm looking, you know, I look down. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, she is really pretty, you know. So she was really pretty. She, you know, finished college, you know, had some her career stuff going on, you know, great, you know, but somebody that I'll probably actually talk to, but just the connection from me like hitting her up,
Mm.
like being like, oh hey, how's it going? You know, Cam, you know, my it's just awkward, you know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? And you can't really recover from it. You can't really recover from it. So it's like, how do you
my
approach
aunt
that?
hooked me up
And
and
then
she moved
my
on.
my aunt trying to hook us up, you know, like, you know, so I don't know. We kind of like text and then it just fell off. I don't know. We text for like a few days and then it just kind of fell off. So I don't know. It's just weird. You can
Yes, it
never,
does.
yeah, it's just always kind of awkward. You know, what you have met that way. So I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well,
Better to running to them at the house party or something, right?
I
Yeah.
almost set you up, Ebony. I will say that though, but
Me?
One guy, he saw my story, my pictures. He's like, "Oh, she's pretty." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm not hooking you up, but I'm having a game night. You can come." He ain't come. That's on him.
Okay. He messed up.
That's on him. Like
But I
she
feel like,
sees she's in the picture, she'll be there.
that keeps you neutral.
Mhm.
For anyone out there
Facts.
listening, that's literally the best way to do it. It keeps you neutral. Um, if things don't work out, unfortunately, there's no blood on your hands because you just kind of set up the atmosphere, right? You're here, this other person's here, and like, keeps you neutral. So
See, I'm totally different. I'll be like, oh, hey. Oh, you want to talk to my friend? Hold on for a second.
All of on three-way.
y'all remember that though? The three-way
Three-way?
back in the day?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Mm-hmm. Good
Yeah.
times.
Right.
The
Yeah,
90s and the 2000s.
I don't know. It's never been successful with the put me on your girl thing, or somebody like the homies like, oh yeah, put me on her. I don't know. It just never work out. I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it be successful.
So yeah, stop asking.
Yeah, stop asking, guys. Stop asking. Don't worry. You gotta put yourself in the right place at the right time, and then just make the connection yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Best
there's
way to
people
do it.
that say like, meeting a friend of a friend is the best way to meet someone too. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that is the best way versus just a complete stranger. So if he would have come to the party, he would have met you, and then y'all two could have decided if y'all wanted to do something. But
the thing is, at your
he didn't
party,
come.
I just assume I don't know why I do this, but I just assume everybody's married until I know they're
Oh well, let's see. There was, I don't think, no, there was two engaged couples, one married girl. Her husband wasn't here, but everybody else, all the guys that were here were single except for the two that were engaged, and they were sitting on the stairs. So they were with their women. Everybody else was single. I'm single, so I got single people around me. I got married men.
Listen,
What am I gonna do with that?
Listen, house parties, like little kickbacks or whatever, that's the best place, I think, to meet somebody, because I'm the type of person, like, I've never been an aggressive guy, like just see a random girl on the street and go talk to her. I never do that. But I've been highly successful in like and like the house party, kickback. The success rate is high at the house party. You know what I mean? Because it's an intimate environment. So it's like if you can just get go over to her, sit by her, whatever, like just start a conversation. If you can just initiate that conversation and then it flows, I mean, y'all hit it off, you in there, So I think that's like the best way to meet somebody, honestly.
So everyone's guards are kind of down a little bit.
Exactly.
Because you're in a comfortable place and you know that your friend's not going to have like a crazo.
You hope not.
Because sometimes friends bring friends. But for the most part, you think everyone's kind of on the same level and you can let it happen. Yeah. Next time you go to a game night, just bring her a plate of chicken, or, hey, you want to be my spades partner? And just make it. That's some good connections right there. Or you play Jenga and then you like let them win. As in you let her win, or Ebony, he lets you win because we want to win all the time.
I'll win anyway.
Yeah, but you see how that right there, like that'll start like the conversation, like that little trash talking. Yeah. I'm gonna have a game night again. It might have to be outside in the backyard.
It's warm, it's cold here.
COVID, yeah, definitely. Then because of COVID, even when it's over, like I'm not bringing people in right away. So yeah, I got space in the back. We gonna have another game night, and you can bring your meatballs.
Word. Oh, child. Don't tell anybody about those meatballs.
They was good. I don't care what you say. They was
like
good.
The first time I made, there's some vegetarian meatballs that I made for the first time. They weren't horrible.
Are you vegetarian?
Yes, pretty much. Sometimes I'm pescatarian, but for the most part, I'm vegetarian. It's been like 5 years, 6 years.
Dang. Okay. That's what's up. Man. So usually for us on City of Savage, once we get towards the end of the podcast, we like to ask like more fun questions. Okay. So I know we've been in it kind of heavy with the relationships and all this stuff. DMs were a little bit light, but I got a more light question for y'all.